Good afternoon and welcome to The Talk Influencers. This is where we explore the mindset of great achievers, sharing their path to success and how the decisions that they have made have shaped the person that they are today. We are also committed to provide you with the tools and the knowledge that you need to unlock your potentials and to influence the world. I'm Simon Dewole, your host, and we are pleased today to have with us a sailor, a nutrical scientist, and someone who is a speaker and a worshiper and who God loves. Peter, you are welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much, Simon, for having me.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, Peter, I want to ask you, at what point or level did you understand that you recognize your potential?
Okay, at what point, at what level? Okay, so I'll be very careful with the things I say because, words are very powerful. So it's a journey. Life is a journey in itself. When I discovered or recognized my potential, if we put it in that sense, it's when I just actually began to pay attention to myself to know, what was I really made for? What was I sent on earth to do? At some point in life, you could be doing a lot of things and be involved in a lot of things, and you think that that's where you are called to, but it's not true. You are sent here for a particular thing, but then we'll find expression in different ways. So it was when I began to pay attention to myself, I began to pay attention to the abilities I have, the things I can do without breaking a sweat. Then I discovered that I have this potential in me to actually carry out a lot in my life as a young man. And then from that one thing I discovered, I began to see different roles it could play in my growing. And so I'm actually working on a lot of things today that found expression from just one, not everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. In your whole thought, how long does it take for a person to discover your potential?
Wow.
Is it a time frame or something?
No, I mean, there's no time frame to it. It's a journey. Life is a journey. You discover one, and that one gives expression to the others. That's the truth. Life is a potential. The potential in anybody is so much. It's so much. I don't want to be scientific now, but it's so much that you from one drop, you discover that God gives you ability in other ones. So it's like you put a pillar here, and that pillar is carrying a lot of weight. That many things can be attached to the pillar, but it is just one thing you discover that makes you have other several attachments to it. So there's a whole lot that a man can do, but finding your place is much important. When you discover your place, you discover that you are not born to do everything. You are born to do something that can find expression in different places.
All right. The most important lesson that one can have, in the most important investment that one can get, is to invest in itself. What's your thought on this?
Wow. Self-development and capacity building is one thing you will not take too lightly. You must take it very serious. But you must know what you invest in yourself. You must know what you want to invest in yourself. Developing yourself cannot be overemphasized. Before I started Arts Out, I had to do an internship of cumulative 3 years. Yeah, cumulative 3 years. And I'm looking into institutes that I can build a CV with, because I didn't have the art background like that. So, but what do? You have to look for environments where you can build that passion so that you can be tenable in this environment, which is certificate centric. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because people will be always asking, which school did you go to? Well, yeah, we know there are a lot of self-taught people, but in this part of the world, it's actually a bit difficult to accept self-taught people. There's always this resistance a bit, whether we like it or yes, that's what it is. So it's something you must take tops.
I want to ask you something. What is the one lesson that you have learned over the years that you think that has impacted your life growing up?
Wow. One lesson I've learned is that pay attention to yourself. And I'm not saying you should be selfish. They're two different things. Pay attention to yourself. You are not called to do everything. You are called to do something. And that thing will find expression in the different things God has empowered you to do in life. So I've discovered that as my little journey is that you continue, as you pay attention to yourself, look at your abilities, look at your strengths, look at your weakness, look at your successes and your failures, you discover that you are streamlined to do this particular thing. You are not called to do several things.
Speaking of that, what can you say? What's your thought on humility?
Wow.
Because I was reading part of your messages on, your post on Instagram or so. I also a place that you were talking about humility. So I wanted to know, what's your thought on humility? Because I believe that people have this misconception of what humility really is.
Yeah, you see, so I discovered that The moment you begin to grow and God begins to bless you, you begin to get, if you discover that it is God that blesses you, the attention to you reduces and your attention to God increases. You will discover that it's not you now or your ability, but God blessing you. All right? I'm not saying, because there's a cliche in church this day that people just want to sit down and be lazy. It is more of knowing that the attention is not on you, but on God. But there's a place a man plays in growth. There's a place a man plays in development. All right? There's a whole lot in development. If not so, you are going to be accruing every level of success to yourself. So my thought on humility is that when you discover how much God has blessed you, you will know how much it is you need to be responsible and know that you need to give the glory to God. Because in the end, you discover that you are a small fraction in the very many things God is doing in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're an artist.
Yes, yes.
Now I want to know what inspires you when you draw. As what is this? Why art? Why not maybe any other thing? Why do you go to art?
Yeah, interesting. You know, when you introduced me, you said I'm a sailor and I'm a fine artist. Okay, so I did everything, like I say most times, which I think many people have not heard about. I've done everything to distract myself from being an artist. But the truth of the matter is I keep coming back to me. You know, just like we had a conversation just now, you told me it keeps coming back to me. It keeps coming back to me. It keeps coming back to me. It was a serious step I took to leave what I was doing to now say I wanted to be an artist. I knew I was going to lose a lot. I know I was going to lose a lot, but the truth of the matter is that I feel fulfilled being an artist than just being anybody on the street. What inspires me is that my art is it finds expression in different means, but I'm actually trying to interrogate with time, archives, and history. I'm actually engaging with those different mediums to actually bring people to speed to what we have gone through and the history we have gone ahead of.
All right. In a situation whereby a person finds himself or herself in a particular environment where it's like certificate century, how can you thrive as an artist?
The most important thing is to create works that are cutting edge. You get what I mean? Art in itself, there's no career in this world that's easy. Art in itself is not easy, sir. I will say it and say it again. It's not pride, it's not anything, and I'm saying it because no matter how people think that I'm a young man coming up in this business, I have learned from, by the grace of God, some of the very best hands. And these best hands have taught me a lot. You must be able to do your research. You must be, for you to break through and have a cutting edge, you must do your research, you must engage with a lot of information, you must do something that is deeper than the physical, than the surface. Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking of being an artist, what's the best thing of being an artist? What's the best and what's the worst thing of being an artist?
Anyway,
let's start with the best first of all.
The best things, is there a best? The best thing, I don't think I have a best thing, but the truth of the matter is that let me put it in this sense, because it is when you discover what you create adds value to people is one of the best things you can have, you know. And then being an artist at some point, you know, you are your own. When you are creating in your house, you are your only audience, you are your only crowd, you are your only critic. So there are days that you wake up and look at the thing and you're like, this is nonsense. And there's some days you are so stirred up in your spirit you want to do more. And there's some days you're like, Oga, because you will have bills to pay, you have a lot to answer to, you know. But you might not find that come easily. And the journey to be an artist is not an easy journey, not like any other journey in life. Yeah, it's not an easy journey. Being a medical doctor is not an easy journey. Being an engineer is not an easy journey. The way you have people, paupers, people who are poor, even as being a medical doctor, that's the way you have people who are poor being artists. The way you have rich people as artists. So it's not a factor, it's not a function of that's what you do. That's not what it's the function of that you are in purpose. How do I explain this thing again? Purpose, the day I was asking God, sorry, so that I will appeal to a crowd a bit here, you know. So I was asking that, how do you actually talk about it? You see, the fish had fins so that it can flow in water, it can swim in water. Exactly. If you bring the fish to the land, it will die. So God has enabled the fish with everything it needs to be able to adapt in its place. So the moment you have found your place, adaptability for you is easy. Yeah. The failures in art, do I have any failures? No, I'm yet to see anything called failure because I'm a bit developing, so
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
If your art is a brand,
Yeah.
what would be the slogan for you? If it's a brand, what's going to be the slogan?
If it's a brand, my greatest opportunity, my mind really, what's on my mind, top of my mind is to actually be the community. You know, I think we should be thinking community now and building people than just doing things for ourselves. In the local place you are, try to build people. So when you shared with me that these guys just believed in the vision, it takes a lot to believe in a vision. A lot. In as much as they don't even have a remuneration in money, it takes a lot to believe. So I think the tops of my mind is to be the community of people, to answer a lot of questions, to build a system where people can come around and just interrogate with many things. Yeah.
You were top finalist at the just concluded the ArtX organized by Access Bank.
Yeah.
What was it like for you?
It's interesting.
There's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot, you know. So this is the first time I will say this year. It came like, it's actually a booster to what I'm doing.
Wow.
Why? Because, you know, like I said, when you're creating, at some point, you are your audience. I have been creating like since 3 years back or 4 years back, and I've never exhibited out there. But I just put that in, like, let me just try it and see. And from trial, it has become something very serious now, honestly. And I said in my interview during the Access Bank ArtX Prize that it actually goes to say that what I'm doing is beginning to find its ground. You know, what I'm doing is beginning to find expression, begin to find a place for itself. So it's a whole lot. It's actually a great move for me. Yeah.
All right.
Truly.
Thank you very much, Uber.
Thank you so
much. All right, viewers, we are going to be right back. Just join us. Don't leave the dive. Stay tuned.
Have mercy on me, sinner.
All right, you are welcome back to The Talk Influencers. I'm your host, as you know, Simon Odewale, and we are still here with Peter Ebanyi Okoto. Now, I understand that you read book a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, out of the books that you have read, what is one book that you have read that you feel that, okay, everyone must read this book?
Okay, so one of the books I've read that I think everyone must read is The Purpose-Driven Life, all right? Purpose-Driven Life is an interesting book by Rick Warren. I mean, everybody should read that book because it just takes you from different phase to different phase of life, and you will discover why you are here on earth. Honestly, when you discover why you are here on life, why you're here in life and what you're supposed to be doing, you won't do everything. You cannot do everything. Truly, you can't do everything. You were sent here for a particular purpose, to fulfill a particular vision, to act out a particular script. You know, like I say and I tell people every time, we are spiritual programmed. We are spiritually programmed. What we are doing, we are acting out a script. We can't catch God unawares. It's not possible. What's happening in our life is just a script. God is not unaware about the things that is happening around. So it's purpose-driven life. I think every young man should pick that book and read. And read it over again. Yes, read it more than till you tear the pages. You know, tear the pages.
I think that's very, very nice. Purpose-driven life. So we should just go and just read it up.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what is the one lesson that you wish that you have known earlier on in life?
I think one lesson in life I've learned is that you must allow yourself go through process. Yes. And life in itself will not give you what you want. It will give you what you demand of it. Life will give you what you demand of it. And life is a process, one step at a time. You can't take 2 steps at a time. You must go through from one phase to another. It was difficult for me to understand those things, but I'm getting better at it these days. That everything that happens to you is process towards where you are going to.
You said something on your Facebook page about taking steps.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask something. What is the one thing that, what are you going to say to someone that does not want to follow the process like you have just said now?
Wow.
They don't want to follow the process. They just want to be there. They just want to, they just want to be known. So what is that thing? What are you going to say to that person that don't want to follow the process? What's the effect of it?
The effect of it. So I want to be very careful when I answer questions, because I say that because I don't have the holistic knowledge and I don't want to speak in entirety. I like to speak and give open-ended so that people can add their own and subtract from it.
Yeah.
But it's a very serious issue around in our generation today. Our ability to manage things these days is becoming too short. Our attention span is short. our patience level is short because everything happens by .com, by pressing buttons, so our perseverance is too little, and so everybody just wants to. We want to arrive before we arrive, and if you arrive before your time, you disappear before your time. So the truth of the matter is that it's a whole lot, my brother. It's a whole lot to deal with. Yeah, it's a whole lot. If you don't go through the process, you can't get there. You will just be cut short. It is any circle you don't complete, you complete it whether now or later. It's the circle. You will complete it before you graduate to the next class. Yes.
Being here with us as D-Talk influencers, we've learned a lot. So thank you very much. You are simply amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, we are so happy to have Peter Ikotu here with us, and I believe that you have gained something. And don't forget that we are committed to give you the tools and the knowledge that you need to unlock your potentials and to influence the world at large. Till see you next time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment because it goes a long way. God bless you and goodbye.